Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. This past week, we learned that officially Warzone's core health is changing for Battle Royale. We're going to actually see the Vanguard Royale health of 300 total health, 150 base plus 150 armor come over to normal Battle Royale. Obviously, Vanguard Royale is being removed and we're just gonna have the one normal Battle Royale playlist for Caldera. With this change to the overall health, we are going to see some very, very drastic changes to the meta. Certain guns are going to become a lot more competitive. Other guns, though, a good amount of guns are going to either need a lot of tuning to maintain their competitiveness, or we are going to see a lot of guns become honestly obsolete because of this health change. Today, I wanted to break down how this update to the TTK and to the health could actually have some pretty severe impacts on the meta in a negative way. As we go through it all, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, you already know I got you covered with everything going on in COD. So feel free to hit that sub button, turn on those post notifications. That way you can always stay up to date with everything. So last week, we actually theorized a little bit about what would happen if the Vanguard health made its way into core Battle Royale. And what do you know? Now it's happening. And we looked at this chart here comparing some of the top weapons. The Automaton, the Cooper, obviously two of the best Vanguard rifles. The AMAX, the best Modern Warfare rifle. The Bren, the best weapon in the entire game right now. And then also the Cold War AK, probably the most versatile weapon in the game. And when we have 300 health here and a combination of shots to the head, to the chest, to the arms or the extremities with the arms and legs, and then the stomach and the neck, you can see here just simply having 300 health changes things a lot. The Automaton and the Cooper are relatively competitive rifles, but they are not good when you add in 300 health here, just because they can't compete with some of these other guns. And these are weapons that will still maintain efficiency with this 300 health change. We're going to talk more on the overall effects that it's going to have on certain weapons in a second, but you can see here, this does add an interesting dynamic. And this is like I said, sort of a recap of what we talked before. The AMAX is actually the most optimal weapon here through 35 meters. And then again, past 54 meters, it's going to have the best TTK with the Bren behind it, with the Cold War AK behind it. This is going to shake things up and make certain weapons a lot better than before. But at the same time, we got to think of other weapons that are going to suffer because of these changes. So the first gun I want to look at here on True Game Data is the Swiss. And all we got to do here is look at the base stats. For one, the headshot damage is 250. It's a one-shot knock to the head, but we don't know if it's going to maintain that efficiency with 300 health. In theory, it should, because in Vanguard Royale recently, the Vanguard snipers would still one-shot to the head against full armor from my experience with them. But you look at the other parts of the body, and this is where things become very interesting. If you're hitting any extremity shots, you're doing 83 damage, which previously, let's say you hit 3 straight shots to the upper arm or the upper leg here, or any of the extremities, honestly, you would be a 3-shot snipe for a knock, which is not ideal in the first place, but it's also not super likely to hit only the extremities. In this case, though, it would now require 4 shots because 83, obviously, you keep on adding that on top of each other. It's not enough to have a 3-shot knock with 300 health. We can even go ahead and look at the Kar 90 AK on here as well, and it's pretty much the same deal. While it's 86, it's got a little bit more extremity damage. You have to hit at least 2 shots with this now for it to be a knock, unless you are hitting the head when they have full health. So it is going to punish snipers a little bit unless they do make some changes there. But some other weapons that I really can't display on a graph here with data is just weapons that have small magazines. They are going to suffer the most from this meta update, from this health update and the changes to the TTK, because things like the AS Val that only have 30 rounds, when you add in an extra 2 to 3 shot kill requirement for most weapons at the minimum, that's going to hurt its overall potential. If you're missing shots and it takes that extra couple of shots to, get that knock, get that kill, that's going to hurt it. Things like the Scar sort of becoming obsolete. Things like the Odin, absolutely. Like any gun in this game that has a small magazine, unless we see drastic changes to either increase the magazine capacity or make the TTKs better, are not going to be all that competitive anymore because of the extra health and the extra shots required to actually get that knock or to get that kill. And at the same time, weapons that have 45 round mag attachments on them that we usually use, you might have to jump up to 60 because you got to make up for those shots you're likely going to miss. Very rarely are you hitting 11 straight shots with recoil over range, so this is something that is going to shake up a lot of setups, especially when it comes to magazines, but also make a lot of other weapons probably not all that viable anymore. We've looked at our TTK charts previously, and there is a ton of weapons in competitive and viable, but without having that 250 core health, the shots to kill change a lot, and that does make small mag weapons a lot worse. Obviously, we looked at the one chart to start the video with some of the core rifles. I also wanted to see what this would do to the SMG meta. We got that sort of meta MP40 setup here that I'm not super on board with just because it really lacks in range, but the recoil booster, the short barrel, the Gorenko 45 is what I've seen a lot of players running recently. Obviously, our main well gun loadout, our main Owen gun loadout as well with the Gorenko 72, and then also the Lapa, because that's like the best non-Vanguard sub. And you can see this does change things as well when you have 300 health here in a combination of shots. Yeah, the Owen gun, really good through 10 meters, but then it drops off severely, and it's really not doing anything crazy. The well gun, really good through 12 meters, then it also drops off pretty severely past 16 meters, which really is not all that far in game. The MP40 here, losing to both of those through 12, and then it also has a terrible drop off. The Lapa, very bad up close compared to these, like not very bad, I should say. It's worse than these up close. Not a bad option though. But then past 16 meters, it takes over, which is previously not something you necessarily need because the damage per mag here. We can even go ahead and look at that, and you can clearly see the damage per mag on the Owen gun up close is utterly insane with 300 health, but the same can't be said for everything else, which is kind of interesting considering the well gun has been a top choice for so long. It's going to get shaken up because of this. The MP40, despite all the love it's getting recently and all the love it's gotten so far, could be, dropping off in terms of that overall pick rate. We might see some other guns make their way back in because they simply can withstand that extra 50 health a little bit better. Maybe you're landing more shots with them because the recoil is easier. There's so many factors in here that now with that extra 50 health, while it might only be 2 to 3 shots extra per gun in some cases, in most cases, it's gonna focus more on having better accuracy than also having the ability to, not run out of ammo during a fight, especially when you're trying to play in trios and quads when there's more than one person you could be fighting at a time. We are going to see very big changes to the overall meta here. It's really probably going to be one of the biggest updates, not necessarily to individual weapons in every case, but in some cases, as we've talked about, but in the way you're going to approach building a class, because you have to build for the potential situations of having to fight 600 health versus your 300 in a 1-on-2 situation. That's 100 extra health that you'd normally not see if it was just 250 at its core, right? Like it was before. So very interesting changes here. Let me know what you guys think of this down in the comments below. What guns do you think are going to be the standouts after this update takes place later on this week? Of course, we're going to be breaking down the best loadouts in a few days, so stick it here for that and everything else going on in the world of Call of Duty. You already know I got you covered every single day. Make sure you subscribe with those noties turned on. And if you enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. Would be seriously appreciated. But all that being said, that's going to wrap things up for today. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.